Okay, so good evening, everyone. It is about 5 o'clock, and this is going to be our first episode of Cinema Roll, starring Raymond, the one who's talking, and then co-host and what are you?
Aaron. Hello.
Yeah, that's Aaron. It's like, yeah. So my co-host Aaron, or technically we're both co-hosts, right? There's not there's nobody in charge during this, but I'm rambling now. All right. So yeah, this is our first episode of Cinema Roll. Thank you for for today or tonight or whatever time y'all are watching this. We are going to be discussing the movie Hellboy. So the idea of this, we're doing movie reviews, right, Aaron?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, we're just doing movie reviews. Basically, we made a whole list of movies that I haven't personally seen and Aaron hasn't personally seen, right? Mostly me, and
mostly Raymond.
Yeah, mostly me, and it's just I forgot how words work again.
All right, so I guess we could start both. Okay, so first of all, how did you feel about the movie? We'll start there. What's your
or do you want to do a summary? I think we should do a summary of the movie.
Summary of the movie first.
Yeah, it's just add on. Because there could be people like me who has never seen Hellboy.
Yeah. Okay. So do you want to summarize it, or you probably should do that beforehand? Just write a summary.
Yeah, we probably should have, but this is kind of off the cuff. We'll do that for the next movie.
Yeah.
It's like I said, this is our first episode, y'all. We're making great impressions. So the synopsis of the movie. So like I said, but just to reiterate, this is a new podcast that we're doing where we're essentially just watching a movie and we're reviewing it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way that we're going to do it is we're going to summarize, give the synopsis of the movie, like a basic summary of it, and then we're going to give our thoughts on how the movie is exactly, right? So for this week we watched Hellboy, right? I'd never seen Hellboy, believe it or not. I've only seen clips of when it aired on TV, but I never really sat down and watched it.
Mm-hmm.
Even I will say I consistently watched it, even though I had to break it up in parts because it is a 2-hour long movie, and unfortunately my schedule doesn't allow me to just sit for 2 hours and watch a movie. So, but yeah, I will say, first thoughts, is a good movie. I do enjoy it, but we'll get more into detail later on. Mm-hmm. So the synopsis of the movie, right? So basically, the movie begins in a flashback. It was World War II, right? World War II, and we have the Allied powers kind of attacking this Nazi experiment camp, right? Where these group of Nazis essentially are just trying to take over the world, right? Through ridiculous villainous schemes, basically the Allies invade. We have the professor kind of giving his backstory of what he's all about, what he researches, and he's basically he researches all the mystic and all the unnatural things that are, or what is deemed unnatural, to us humans, right? He studies the paranormal, and so they invade this Nazi camp because they found out that these Nazis are planning to summon this weird demon or whatever to take over the world, essentially. So the Allies are there to stop it. The action in the movie was phenomenal. In their first invasion, the action was great. It was very gripping. It was very, for a PG-13 movie, they kind of got away with a lot of stuff, and you kind of realize there was and this is a side tangent, but there was a point in the movie where I'm just is this PG-13? I had to double check because it was it was
I think everybody knows exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, exactly. It's just dang, this is a lot of gore, a lot of
yeah.
Which goes to show you how movies have changed throughout the years, right? But that's besides the point. So anyway, big fight scene, great action, loved it. They stopped the bad guys. I think they killed one of them. I don't remember, but they did kill one of them. And so they ended up closing the portal. They ended up stopping it, and everyone was cheering. It's yeah, we stopped it. Whoa, yeah, whoa. Right? But the professor was no, we didn't. Something came out here, so everyone investigate the area. Make sure you're thorough about it. Investigate it. And they're walking around and finding things or whatever. And the scientists, along with the soldiers, ended up finding this tomb or whatever. I don't know what it's called. But they find this tomb, and they hear something rattling in the distance, and it turns out it was a baby Hellboy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or the little red monkey or whatever. So I will admit, for that part of the movie, the CGI did not hold up for a baby Hellboy.
I didn't expect it to. Honestly, that's going into movies like that. Just because that was early 2000s, I believe. I don't expect good CGI, so I overlook it. Now the practical effects for adult Hellboy, immaculate. Like,
Oh yeah, of course.
Looks amazing.
Oh yeah, of course.
But the CGI it's always going to look bad in these types of things, no matter what. So I wasn't surprised about that.
Oh yeah, like don't get me wrong, I overlooked it too, because like, but I will admit it threw me off guard, just seeing like weird little baby Hellboy just hopping around, his little 2D self, his little naked 2D self boy. Anyway, but yeah, so all the soldiers were about to kill it, but the professor's like, no, wait. Stop that! That's a baby! Don't you kill a baby! We'll take it and raise it for ourselves. So yeah, that's basically what they did. They ended up adopting it, and I did not know this, but he got his name Hellboy from the soldiers, because that's what they kept calling him. Yep, it was like a little nickname, so they just stuck with it. So Hellboy. So anyway, we jumped to the we jumped to the future, right? It's about 60 years, right, Aaron?
Yep, it was 60 years.
Yeah, it was about 60 years. That was where I kind of get a little fuzzy on. I was just like, so we see the professor. So we actually see like news sightings of Hellboy, right? Yeah. We see like reports of like this mysterious creature. So basically, like Hellboy is essentially like Bigfoot.
That's one thing I did, which I did like about the movie, which I thought kind of helped it to get things moving. Is they didn't really do this as a Hellboy origin story, which they did show his origin, but it was just like really quick, like, hey, this is where it came from, and then it was just like sort of just like right into it, like, oh yeah, he's been doing this for a while. Here's just a certain point in his life that was really important, his development, which I thought really helped to move things along, because I guess with a movie like this, he's not a well-known character, at least probably not at the time, and nobody probably would have cared about his origin story. So I think they did the smart thing, just doing it quick and jumping right into the action.
I also want to like clarify this before we like continue on to like, we just watched the movie and we are going off our current knowledge of Hellboy.
Yeah.
This is kind of all of our assumptions. Like, we haven't done like research and like maybe Hellboy was big back then, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I've never.
I mean, we were 4, so
like that. Yeah.
When the movie came out, we were like 4 years old, so it's just like we were probably like, I don't know, pissing ourselves or something. I don't know.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so yeah, we see news feeds of Hellboy sightings and everything like that. Then we jump cut to their secret base or something like that. I forgot what their secret base is called.
I thought it was funny. It was they had this scene where the FBI director or something, he was on the news and he was talking about Hellboy. He was like, oh man, Hellboy doesn't exist. Blah 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 blah. You guys are lying. All this other mess. And then, right after he says that, it cuts to their facility.
Yeah.
They called it waste management, just to hide what it was.
Yeah.
But it was something like paranormal defense or something like that. And then that's when we get introduced to, I guess, our deuteragonist, I guess you'd call him.
John Myers.
John Myers. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to say this right now. John was the most boring character ever.
Oh, 100%. So, like, especially, and now we'll get to this when we get to this, but especially with his whole subplot with Liz.
Yeah.
Yeah, that seemed kind of weird.
It was dumb to me, because I guess I feel like maybe they had John there for a reason. Maybe he was gonna have a bigger role, but because the movie is 2.5 hours, so maybe he was gonna do more, but they just couldn't fit it in. But they had this whole thing where what's his name? The doctor? I don't remember his name. But the head doctor, that was like Hellboy's dad.
Oh, the professor.
Yeah, professor. Yeah, the professor was like, "Oh yeah, I'm dying soon. I handpicked you. I need somebody who can look after Hellboy." And all John does throughout the movie is chase after Hellboy while he's doing stupid stuff, and then the whole Liz. And then at the end, he does something. We'll get to it later. We'll bring it up then.
Also, Aaron is sick, by the way. So
if you hear me coughing, and I'm also like sucking on cough drops right now.
The man is very congested.
Yeah, but yeah, he does something at the end of the movie that was basically worthless, and you could have had another character do it, or it happened at a different moment. But yeah, bottom line, John didn't need to be in the movie. It's a wasted runtime with him.
Yeah, good old John. Yeah, basically John Myers was just Hellboy's assistant, his whipping boy, essentially. Yeah. But yeah, we also see, so we go inside the waste management facility, their headquarters of operation. And, we're looking at all the paranormal monsters, creatures, weapons, and all the findings that they, discovered over the years. And then we meet our other protagonists, or not, I wouldn't really, we meet Abe, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't really call Abe a protagonist. He's definitely like a side character. I don't want to call him like a side character because that's like downgrading what he is.
He's still integral to the plot, but he got sidelined at the halfway mark.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, because low key, like after the movie, I'm like, I just see Abe just in the tank, like submerged because he got hurt. But I'm like, I must have blinked out on that part because I don't remember like how Abe got hurt in the first place.
It was when he was fighting. Okay, so that was when they after their first encounter with Samael, and they're like, "Oh yeah, Samael probably laid eggs."
Oh right.
So they went back to the train tracks where Hellboy fought Samael. Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
I guess we're jumping all over the place, but once they went back, that's where Abe got hurt.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha. So basically, one of the we meet John Myers at the he's introduced to one of the handlers for Hellboy, or one of the assistants or whatever. He takes John Myers to the facility, he's showing them around like, oh yeah, this is what we do, this is what you're going to be interacting with, these are the monsters that you're going to be facing. And then the assistant takes John to meet Hellboy, and this is our first introduction to Hellboy, which is a phenomenal introduction.
Dude,
freaking
Ron Perlman.
Yeah, Ron Perlman.
He is amazing. Just his whole demeanor is just it's perfect for Hellboy. I love him. I love his one-liners. He's the best.
He is very hilarious.
Yeah.
He is very hilarious in this movie. Like, all the jokes with Hellboy land for me. All the fight scenes with Hellboy. Even some of the like emotional stuff with Hellboy. It's like some scenes is played for comedy, but also it's just like very like you relate to the guy, especially considering that Hellboy, even though he's like many like years old, he's technically like 24 in the movie.
Yeah. Was he specifically 24? They just said he was in his 20s.
Or is in his 20s, yeah. He was in his 20s.
Which was a gripe of mine. It's a small nitpick. But it's funny because you see him and it's like, oh yeah, he's just in his 20s. And then he looks like a 40-year-old man. He's balding and everything. It's kind of funny.
I mean, that's kind of funny, yeah. But like, I don't really necessarily call it a gripe either, because it's just like, that's how Hellboy is. And, and that kind of goes to props to like Ron Perlman's performance, because he was basically kind of like a 20-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was kind of funny, especially like seeing like the dichotomy of Hellboy. It's just like you see this big giant red demon, and you also see in his room a bunch of cats.
Yeah, he has
a bunch
cats
of kitty cats
and food and comics all over the place.
Yeah, exactly. He's just a man child living in his dad's basement, just having a good old time.
Not by choice, though.
Not by choice, no, of course not, but still. But also throughout the beginning of the movie, we also hear Hellboy doing hints about like, oh yeah, I went out to see her again. Oh, I went to find her again. Oh, And you'll know we hear that bit in the beginning of the movie, right? All the way up to like the first monster fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, I believe what had happened was, and Aaron, you can correct me on this. So, like, they got introduced. John and Hellboy got introduced, and then immediately after we hear the sirens go off, and then it's time to kick some monster ass, right?
Yep.
Yep. So we go to the train station, right? Was it the train station? Yeah. Right.
Not the train station, though. It was at the museum.
The museum.
It was
that's
apparently a museum they had been to before.
Mm-hmm.
She's like, "Oh, did we sweep this place over?" They're like, "Well, apparently we missed something." Which that's one thing I like. Just a side note is the world building. I wish they could have done more of it because it's really interesting when you hear about like how of course they're seasoned and they've done this before, and you see them like do like. You see these little mini rituals and things, like they have something called a reliquary, which like has something to ward off evil, and all this. It's really interesting stuff. And then Hellboy has like the clove water bullets,
yeah,
and and all that other stuff. It's like they could have taken John out and put some more world building in there. Honestly,
yeah. Frankly, yeah, I totally see that. And like, yeah, mostly the world. Actually, know what? You could take the John bits and put like the relationship between Hellboy and Liz,
or
right?
Abe too,
or Abe. Yeah, just like the three of them kind of being like the squad, right? And then they just had a falling out because of like Liz's powers being uncontrollable. But like, yeah, again, we're going all over the place. But yeah, there was just like a lot you could take out of the movie that could make it like shorter, more tight knit.
not even shorter, but just give us more substantial things.
Yeah. Honestly, do you think the movie will benefit from a longer runtime?
No. Only because by the time I got to the halfway mark, I was kind of already like, okay, now where is this going now?
Yeah.
You know, because I'm looking, I'm like, man, we got a whole hour left. What's about to happen?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm kind of just like, not necessarily that it was dragging on, but just, you know, like, all right, I'm ready to see where this story is going to go. Because you have all the hints with Rasputin and everything, which one thing we forgot to mention at the beginning. The main villain is Rasputin. Yeah, which is pretty interesting.
Yeah.
The whole alternate history thing.
Mm-hmm.
Which I also thought was interesting because I remember they had mentioned earlier in the movie that Hitler didn't die until like 1958 or something like that.
Aaron is a real history buff.
But no, I'm not really. No, but that's what they said in the movie. Well, whatever. Well, he didn't. Of course, Hitler didn't really die in 1958.
Yeah.
It's just their alternate history or whatever. But yeah, there was a whole thing with Rasputin being in the shadows and getting his plan together or whatnot, and I was like, all right, he's doing all this little stuff. What is it going to lead up to? You know?
Yeah.
So I don't think it would have benefited from being longer. I just think some things should have been cut out and replaced with better material.
Yeah. Also, we also forgot to mention that in the whole the Allied powers taking down like the Nazis and shit. Rasputin did like quote unquote die, right? He ended up getting like sucked into the portal, which I'm still confused on how he got resurrected. It was because of the colonel and that lady, right? They
it was the dude, the puppet, him, and that lady that was in love with him.
Which is weird.
Some sort of blood sacrifice brought him back.
Right. I remember. He just blood sacrifice. He came out of a pool.
Which I thought was a cool scene.
Yeah, that was a cool scene. That was really cool. That was like Guillermo Del Toro did an amazing job as a director and as putting his own style and visualizing Hellboy, because like for the longest time that was Hellboy. Yeah.
Although I will say, sorry, this is always funny to me. For anybody that's seen The Matrix, whenever I looked at Rasputin, he just looked like that one dude with the beard, just a small beard. And I remember, I think he was talking to Agent Smith, It was the dude that betrayed them. I think it was in the first movie. He looks like him, even though I don't think it is him, but he looks like him. Because he would once Rasputin was in the modern day, he would always walk around in like this like trench coat or this trench coat or dress coat or whatever, and these square sunglasses. I'm like, he looks so goofy. I wish they would have dressed him differently. I guess it's nothing wrong with it. It's just funny to me whenever I see him on screen. I can't take him seriously.
Yeah, for real. So anyway, so back to the plot.
Yeah.
Plot. I'm very tired. I just got off work, people. Oh.
Don't make that noise.
I will make whatever noise I want into this microphone, and you cannot stop me.
Whatever.
Shut up.
Hurry up.
Okay. All right, so they're at the museum, right, and they're scoping, trying to find this monster. They ended up fighting it, like, what kind of clip?
Samael.
Yeah, Samael.
Hound of Resurrection.
Which, honestly, I thought they were going to go something more with that. Like, I thought there were going to be, like, different monsters, like, as a quote-unquote angel, right? Because
that would have been nice.
Yeah.
But I can see why they didn't. Probably because of
budget.
Because Samael was a puppet. Like
I know.
Which I really liked.
Yeah, like that's one thing I liked about this movie. It's just the practical effects. That's why I like any. That's why I like any of Guillermo Del Toro's work. Even like Pacific Rim, that movie's like very heavy in CGI, but like all the practical effects that you see it from Pacific Rim is still like really cool, and that's why it's still like one of my all-time favorite movies. But man, the practical effects were so cool.
They were great.
Yeah.
But the CGI was good in some parts, like the part where Rasputin brought Samael back from the sand, and you can see his sand turning to his bones and then to his body. That part was good.
I missed that part.
You probably fell asleep.
No, I didn't fall asleep per se. Like I said, I had to break the movie up, so I probably was like I'm very tired.
No, don't worry. Let's keep going.
Yeah. That's why you're here, Aaron, to fill in the gaps of my slowly decaying memory.
It's okay, old man.
Don't worry, I don't have any like memory loss disease.
Yes, he does. Okay. So, as you were saying?
Now it's going to just play awkward. A little bit. A little awkward silence builds character. Okay, now you can cut that out.
As you were saying.
I was gonna say. All right, so yeah, they're fighting the monsters. They're just like this old Hellboy going like boom, brr, that's what you get. Yeah, just throwing one-liners. Great action, great fights. It was amazing. They killed the monster and everything, and they're all about to back up and move out and just like get just go home. Job well done, right? And it was funny too because like the professor comes to the scene, right, and Hellboy is just about to like light up his cigar, and it was really funny. I don't know why I remember this. This is just really funny. See, so he sees the professor because the professor's his dad, right? So it's like, and then he just takes the cigar and just hides it behind his back like a child. I'm like, Father. So that was funny. Like Hellboy's funny. Yeah, that was good.
It really shows how, even though, like, because in the beginning part of the movie, they sort of allude to the fact that Hellboy and his dad have a little bit of a strained relationship right now because of the whole thing with Liz and him sneaking out and Hellboy being reckless and whatnot. But you can still, Hellboy has a lot of respect and love for his father still, which I thought was a nice little touch.
Yeah, it's that whole angsty teen dilemma, right, of the whole movie. But it's fair. Like, you kept him in your basement for like years, right? You have a grown ass man living in your basement and everything. So it was just like, yeah, of course he's gonna be rebellious. He wants to see the world, and like the woman he loves, isn't there anymore. Like the only woman that will accept him and love him isn't there. Yeah, of course he's gonna be rebellious.
And honestly, I don't even think it's the fact that he wants to see the world. I think he's cool with staying down there because he's used to that. He knows what he is, and he knows not everybody will accept him.
He's a freak.
But it's more of the fact that he just really wants to be with Liz.
Yeah, he really
If he was stuck down
wants to be with Liz.
Yeah.
He really wants to be with Liz.
Really wants to be with Liz. So if he was stuck down there with Liz, I don't think he'd give two flying rats behinds about what was going on the surface.
But I think Hellboy also understood that this is not the life that Liz wanted either. Because obviously she doesn't want to be stuck down there, like worrying about killing people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But yeah. After that, they fight the monster. They clear out the room. After that, it kind of goes blank. So I'm gonna let Aaron take over this.
I remember after that. What happened after that? I think they had the whole discussion about. We need to go back to find out what happened. I remember them having that discussion. Because they were like, yeah, Samuel probably laid some more eggs.
Oh yeah,
they figured out that
Rasputin
was back and all that.
No, shoot. Because Hellboy during the fight, Samuel stuck him or stung him with something.
Yeah, and it laid 2 eggs.
And it laid 2 eggs in him.
And that's when they were like, oh yeah, while you weren't looking, while you lost track of him, he probably laid eggs.
Yeah, not to mention too, even Hellboy said the sting wasn't even in his body for too long. It was like a couple of seconds, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
In the side of his body, and it nearly incapacitated Hellboy. But yeah, keep going here.
Yeah, so that's when they went back. Him, Abe, and they sent some agents to go with them. So they went back there, or whatnot. I think that's where Abe got hurt. Hellboy was chasing around Samael. Well, one of the Samaels. There's multiple of them. Because every time he dies, I remember when Rasputin first brought him back, he was like, when one of you falls, 2 will be risen up in your name, blah, 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 whatever.
Like a Hydra.
Exactly, like a Hydra. So, you can't really kill Samael unless, and they said this later. They said this later, you have to kill all of him all at once, which I think is dumb, because if you only have one Samael, and you kill one, he still comes back anyway, so why does killing all of them work? But I guess, you need a way to get rid of him in the first place, so I'll let it slide. It's whatever. It's not a really big deal.
I was just doused holy water on the thing.
Yeah. Well, he kind of did that with the clove thing.
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's whatever. It's not a big deal. But yeah, that's where Abe, they had that scene where Abe was swimming and he was looking for the eggs and he found the eggs. And I hate when stuff like this happens in movies, but it always has to happen. Abe had a reliquary with him to keep him safe. You see, Samael wasn't attacking him when he had that reliquary. But Abe, I think he was reaching for something and cut the string, and it fell to where he couldn't get it. That's when he started being chased. And so Samael was chasing him for a little bit. He did get scratched, but he was able to get away. Then the other eggs started hatching. Now, I don't know how they didn't find or kill Abe, because he didn't go far from the pool.
Yeah.
At least from what I remember.
Yeah.
And I think 2 more Samael copies came out.
Oh.
Even though there were more, but there was 2 that were on the surface, and remember they killed those 2 agents.
Yeah, I remember that.
I don't know how they didn't get Abe. I don't know how he got away, but it's whatever. I'm glad he lived.
It is what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, Abe is a cool guy, cool kid.
And
cool,
I love it. And that's when they sidelined Abe, and it pissed me off so much.
Yeah.
I wanted to see him interact more with the characters. I don't know. I hate John. John should have been in the movie. It should have been Abe.
It should have been Abe.
It should have been.
It should have been Abe. It should have been Abe.
And then that's when they kill, after Hellboy kills that Samuel copy, which they had a good, the fight in the subway was really fun.
Yeah, the second fight.
Yeah, the second fight with Samael was fun.
Yeah, I like the way, again, him and his cats.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a scene in the movie where, this lady was like, oh, my cats, my kitties. And Hellboy was like, you'll save them. And he's holding a crate full of cats while trying to fight off Samuel. And, yeah, just just holding it, and like the woman in the background was like, "Be careful, those are my cats," and like the helper was like, "Lady, I'm trying." And then it was cool the way he got taken out because Samuel ended up just getting decapitated by a train,
which was very cool,
very dope.
And then they also had the scene with after he finished fighting Samuel, there was that dude, I forget his name, but he was Hellboy's caretaker before John.
Yeah, the handler.
The handler, yeah. Before John had popped up, and he was fighting the puppet. But when we mentioned, we probably should have said this. I don't know how long we're into this. Probably should have said this earlier.
We're about 31 minutes.
About 31 minutes in. When we say the puppet, the puppet is that dude. For any of y'all that have seen the movie, it's that dude with the tonfa blades.
Yeah.
Which I thought was so cool.
Oh no, 100%.
Yeah, so cool, and the mask and everything.
Yeah, looking like looking like a Daft Punk kind of guy.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I guess I'll see that.
Yeah.
And then he has the thing that he twists to keep his heart going, I guess, or he could turn it off to turn himself off.
Yeah.
So he does this thing where, he obviously kills Hellboy's previous handler. And then he knows Hellboy is coming, and I guess this was a part of their plan. So he turns himself off to look like he's dead. So they take his body with them back to the facility. Or whatever. So of course Hellboy they always have that little moment during the middle point of the movie where things go wrong and they're like, "Oh man, you guys suck, blah 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 blah, everything's going downhill from here."
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, always happens. Shit, that was that. The Liz thing, was that the before or after the train? That was after?
That was after the second train.
After the second fight. Okay. You want to do that?
Yeah. So basically, just to give you some context, Liz used to live with Hellboy and the others in the facility, right? So, but Liz decided, she doesn't want that kind of life anymore. 'Cause she says she hasn't had an episode in like months.
Yeah.
Basically, and what she's referring to is like when she was a child, she was getting picked on and bullied by these other group of kids, right?
Which honestly, they deserved it.
Oh yeah,
no,
100%.
That's a horrible thing to say. But if you know this girl catches on fire and blows things up, why would you?
They kept calling her like a monster and stuff like that.
Throwing rocks at her.
Yeah, throwing rocks.
What you expect to happen?
Yeah, so obviously, she's like doesn't have control over her powers, and her powers are based off like emotion, or at least that's how I could tell or interpret it from. And like, of course, she loses control of her powers and ends up like burning or like destroying an entire block or something.
Yeah, like kids blew up.
Yeah, kids blew up. So so she's very isolated. So she isolated herself. She didn't want to hurt people. And that's when the Foundation, founded her, took her in, helped her get her powers under control, and then after not having an episode for a couple months, she decided just to leave and just to live her life and stuff like that.
Well, it wasn't that.
It wasn't that.
It was she hadn't had an episode for a couple of months because she left and she was at the facility.
Oh right.
But not the facility, but a different. It was a different little place for her that was keeping her calm. It looked kind of like a mental asylum.
Yeah, basically.
But they had her there, and while she was there, she hadn't had an episode.
Yeah, up until good old Rasputin.
I thought that part was cool.
Rasputin ended up breaking into her home or wherever she was living at the time, and started whispering, "It's like, hey, yeah, blow up. You will be mine. I need you to unleash your power," or something like that. I don't know. But yeah, he whispered in her ears, and that's when we saw the flashback when she was a child. And then this is all happening while she's sleeping. So as the flashback happened simultaneously in the reality, her powers activated. She ended up burning down the whole building, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep, the whole place blew up.
Yeah, the whole place blew up. So with that happening, she was taken back to the, or how Aaron described it, the insane asylum.
Not the insane asylum. From the insane asylum.
No. She like after the whole incident with Rasputin,
I think did they move her?
Yeah, they moved her.
Yeah. She had yeah. I think she was in a different. Yeah, she was in a different place.
Yeah. So she was in a box the next time we saw her.
Yeah, I forgot about that part. Yeah,
she was in a box the next time we saw her, and like because during the whole entire time, the professor, Hellboy, Abe. Well, not really Abe, just the professor and Hellboy are trying to convince her to come back, but obviously she doesn't want to. So good old John Myers.
John Myers, yay!
John Myers, good old Johnny boy, decided like, hey, let me go talk to her. Let me.
Literally, the whole I hate John. Literally, the whole conversation was just, hey, why don't we go get a taxi like a couple of regular folk?
Yeah, hey.
You needed John for that?
It's like, hey, sweet cheeks, how about I'm a normal guy just like you. How about we just just leave here like normal people, take a taxi and just get out of here, you know what I mean?
That's all the convincing it took for her.
No,
not the love of her life showing up, not the professor talking to her. No, some random dude she's never been before. Hey, I like you.
Let's
go for a ride.
I want you. And you're gonna go out to coffee with me. You heard me? So which led into a lot of shenanigans with Hellboy, which I personally love.
I love that.
I love that too.
They went on a date, and Hellboy was following them throughout the date.
Yeah, it was funny. He's just like leaping through buildings, like, "Whoa, what is he saying to her?" And it was really funny too. It was kind of creepy, but also kind of funny because like Hellboy's basically like a stalker in this whole scene, and like going out for, and then Liz and John are going out for coffee. You see Hellboy on the top of the building, and like you see him like looking down there, just eavesdropping, and at one point John was like, "Oh yeah, do you want any sugar or cream in your coffee?" And Hellboy's like, "You idiot! She likes drinking her coffee black. You wouldn't know that." And then you see Liz just say, "Oh no, I don't need any. I just drink it black." And like Hellboy's like, "Yeah, that's right. Damn right."
And I like the part where he was watching their date with the kid. Mm-hmm. She was like, "Oh no, you're Hellboy." And he's like, I'm on a mission. They're spies. You gotta know.
They're spies. I'm on a mission, kid. And there's the kid is just giving him life advice, and the kid and Hellboy is like, "Why are you sitting here giving me life advice? You're 9." Like what?
And there was a moment where he threw the rocket.
He's like, "Hey, watch this." Just takes a rock and just chucks it at John's head.
I know that had to hurt.
Oh no, 100%. I think it left like a little dent in his head. John like, what?
I'm team Hellboy. We hate John around these parts.
Oh, 100%. Myers must die. Die the Myers. I don't know. Anyway, but during all that, the professor is examining the cyborg's body, the colonel's body, the puppet's body, and yeah, so he's just like, "Oh, you are dead." And he's just like looking at him, just like marveling at his creation. Once again, really good practical effects and really good practical makeup from the design team under Guillermo Del Toro. Really good. Really, he looked horrible.
In a good way.
In a good way, yeah. I mean, in a bad way too. That man was fucked up. But it was really cool. Mm-hmm. So the professor's just sitting there, just like talking to himself. It's like, why, how, what, who, what, how, why, how, who, what. And then all of a sudden, he goes to a different part of the building, right? And we just see the puppet just, first of all, just waking up, jolting out of bed, and just like grabbing the piece to his heart and just putting it back and just turning it. And
I love how he puts all his gear on too. Just like, "Oh, let me get dressed."
Oh yeah, exactly. It's just like, y'all see my, I was too naked for too long. Y'all see me. It's like, that feels better. I know that didn't make any sense, but yeah. So he walks down the stairs to the professor, and like basically he kills him. The puppet kills the professor. He kills Hellboy's daddy.
I do like how it happens because Rasputin shows up first, and the person's like, "I see the puppet. Now where's Master?" And then Rasputin just the camera pans, and Rasputin's like, "Oh, you're very clever, aren't you, Professor?"
That was a cool ass line. That was like, coming to someone days. It's like, "Oh, I see." Like, and this is a side tangent, but I'll talk to Aaron about it later. But it was a really cool line.
And then I think Rasputin, I think he showed him what he wanted Hellboy to do. He was like, "Oh, well, since you raised him, I'll give you the privilege of knowing what is to come
right before you die."
And then he showed him like the apocalypse and
which was also really badass.
Yeah, I love him with the horns.
Oh, me too.
He's so cool with the horns.
Oh yeah. In case you didn't know, Hellboy cuts off his horns so he can feel normal.
Yeah, but I love that. I want to talk about that once we get to that specific part in the movie. I love it. I love that scene so much. It's the best scene ever.
I loved it.
But we'll talk about it when we get there.
All right.
But yeah, he showed the professor what he was gonna do. But you know, the professor, being a G, was like, "I don't care. My son got it. Do it." And so, as Raymond said, what's the name? The puppet killed him. And,
do it, pussy, no balls.
Literally. So the puppet killed the professor, and then we cut back to them on the date, and we see the people from the facility. They pull up to let them know, and I was like, "Oh wait, something's not right." Runs back to the facility, sees the professor's dead, and Q, was it Act 2, Act 3? Act 3?
Act 3.
Act 3?
Yep.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yep. So we see the funeral of the professor. Very sad. Boo hoo. Wah wah wah. It's been It actually was a couple days past the professor's funeral because Liz is talking about Hellboy not like talking to anyone, being by himself for like days.
Yeah.
So yeah. And then I'm very confused on who that zombie was.
Oh, okay. So, the head of the FBI, we haven't mentioned him much because he hasn't really been important.
If you saw the movie, it's the dad from Arrested Development.
He's a jerk. He hates Hellboy. He's so stupid. There's a scene earlier in the movie, after the whole thing, after the second fight where some of the people die. He's going off with Hellboy. He's like, "You're a disaster. You're reckless. Blah 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 blah."
You're the monster.
Hellboy's had enough of him, but he's like, "Oh yeah." And he picks something up and throws out the glass, and the dude's running away. "I want him locked up." And Hellboy's like, "Yeah, what you gonna do?"
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
And the guy's running away, like, "Lock him up.
Lock him up. Lock him up." It was
and it's funny.
And it was funny too because like Hellboy was just like, "Yeah, John, high five. Yeah, Liz, look what I did."
Like, "Liz, you're back."
Oh, Liz, you're back. Oh, good job, John. Oh, I knew you could do it.
And everybody's just ignoring him. Just like, "Oh, guys."
What? Also, yeah, that scene took place before Hellboy became a stalker and just stalking them.
Yeah, that was before the day. I know we're all over the place.
Yeah, I know. Yeah,
you guys get the point.
Yeah, you get the gist. So you just watch the dang dong movie.
All you had to do was watch the movie.
Yeah, all you got to do is watch the movie. Just listen to a couple of mooks just talking about it.
What is a mook?
Is that a bad thing?
I don't know.
Did I say a slur?
I don't know. You probably did.
Oh wait, no, hold on, wait.
If it is, we'll look it up.
No, look it up right now. Look it up right now.
My phone's like on 8%.
You son of a. Okay.
No, you look it up.
Okay.
Hurry up.
I'm looking at it.
Hurry up.
What percentage is my phone on? Oh, 7%. Nice.
Mine's on 5. Oh, man, that's worse. You know what? I'm going to turn it off while we're doing this.
Yeah, that's probably the best choice of action.
Probably wasting time.
How about...
we still got a whole another hour.
Yeah, exactly.
We're going to have to edit a lot.
I mean, yeah, but, you can keep talking. Wow, you can keep talking.
No, I'm going to wait.
Why are you going to wait? I
want to know if this word is a slur or not.
Stupid or incompetent person.
Okay, yeah, that's accurate. Okay. All right. So.
Actually, hold on. I didn't even look at this. Is mook a slur? Not moom.
Moom.
A bad word.
You know what? It sounds like another word that I was thinking of. That's probably why.
The OED has examples of mook dating from the 1930s and defines this way as incompetent or stupid person, a contemptible person with reference.
I'm guessing we're good.
Yeah. I think mook is fine.
Okay, so as we were saying, yeah. Okay, so the FBI director has this whole plan to go and stop Samuel. He's like, "Hey, we either it's all or nothing at this point. And I thought that was dumb, because he was like, "Hey, if we don't do this, we're shutting the whole program down." Dude, these supernatural beings are your only hope of stopping anything, and you want to get rid of them? You're an idiot.
Yeah, you're a mook.
You're a mook. But anyway, so have this plan to go get Samael, not Samael, but stop Rasputin and Samael and all that. Just stop the whole
Stop
plan.
the Nazis.
Stop the Nazis. Which at this point, Rasputin's not even a Nazi. He was just using the Nazis to get what he wanted.
Yeah, Rasputin is a straight
He wants
demon.
to kill everybody.
He is a monster.
Yeah. But so yeah, they hatch this plan, and there was this really cool moment where Hellboy's like, well, let me ask the locals for directions. And then he goes into the graveyard and resurrects one of the dudes, and the dudes gives him directions to where they need to go. So that was kind of cool.
Oh yeah, his little buddy.
Yeah. Also, I'm pretty sure the corpse was speaking Russian, so either Hellboy knows Russian or he knows a lot of languages.
I mean, it makes sense.
Yeah, it makes sense. He's not a regular person after all.
Oh yeah.
So maybe he's a multilingual.
Yeah. He's a polyglot.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I forgot that was a word.
Yup.
But yeah, there was a whole thing with the zombie.
A lot of new words today.
Shut up. I'm joking. I'm sorry. But yeah.
I've been nice to you this entire time.
I'm sorry. But yeah, there was a scene where he had him on his back, and then he gave him to another dude, because there was another dude walking with Hellboy and the FBI director. And then this scene pissed me off, but it was also kind of funny. So when they were on the bridge, and the
Okay, they were on the bridge. Finish.
he interrupted me. So
I just whistled.
So they
Whistle.
were on the bridge, and the director, shut up. I'm gonna punch you in the throat. Shut up.
What, you gonna push me in the throat? What did I do?
So, they were Raymond. Can I finish my sentence?
Hurry it up! I'm waiting.
So they were on the bridge, and the director was like, "Man, I don't want to go. We should turn back. I don't trust it," because he had this whole fit, like I'm about to have, because Raymond won't stop whistling, making me lose track. Oh goodness. Okay, so I want to. Ray, don't. Let me finish my sentence.
All right, finish your sentence. I'll just sit right here and be quiet.
So yeah, he's throwing his whole fit because Hellboy's kind of leading it, and he's mad like, "No, I'm the director. I'm supposed to lead." Blah blah blah.
I wanna lead.
Exactly. So he's mad. So he's like, "Oh, let's turn around," and then the door closes, and the bridge starts to fall apart because this like pendulum thing swings down and breaks part of the bridge that the dude with the zombie on his back was standing on. Because Hellboy was like, "You, let's go," and the director was like, "No, you stay." And because he stayed right there, pendulum came down, boom, knocked him off,
Dead.
and killed him. So I'm like, dude, that should have been the director. The director should have died. But
Honestly.
based on what happened at the end of the movie, I'm pretty sure the director still died.
No, the director's alive.
Is he?
Yeah.
I don't think so.
No.
No, because they had the after credit scene.
I did not watch that.
You didn't watch the after
I
credit
did
scene?
not watch the after credit scene.
It's okay. We'll get to it when we finish. I'll talk about what happened.
Okay.
Actually, that I might have to rescind a statement that I made because of that. I just now realized something.
What did you realize?
Samuel isn't dead,
Really?
if I remember correctly. Yeah, only watched it. I think we watched this like 2 days ago.
Yeah.
But yeah. So yeah, dude dies. Director's like, "Oh, well, I guess you were right." And they start running, and Hellboy, the door that they got to get to is starting to close. So Hellboy grabs him, throws him in, and then he runs in himself and is like, "Okay, we made it." So then you have John and Liz, who are also moving. And
so wait, did they end up being? No, they didn't end up being a couple.
no, they didn't. But
Yeah.
John, how stupid he is. He was asking like, "Hey, so I know it's like the end of the world and our lives are at stake, but do you like me?"
Oh yeah. I
Is
remember
she's
scene.
like, really now?
Now, exactly. It's just like that. That's kind of like.
Like, why is that on your mind?
No,
dude?
that's the thing that kind of made me like confused about John because I know I get it. He's like, not incompetent, but he's very new to this world.
But what pissed me off is he knew Hellboy was into Liz.
Yeah, Liz
and he
told
was
him.
still trying to make a move. I'm
Yeah,
like, dude,
that's-
you are scum. You are scum of the earth.
No, for real.
That's opposite of bro code.
Yeah, just like why you gotta do that to me, bro? I mean,
Yeah.
granted, Hellboy didn't treat you right, but like, don't go after another man's girl.
Yeah, it's messed up.
Yeah, it's like, dude, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah. So, Hellboy ends up walking to a room full of semi-elves, and Liz and John end up, they see it happen. I think they all end up in the room at the same time, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
So, and Liz, she sees John, not John. I'm getting mixed up. Liz sees Hellboy
HB.
he's surrounded by semi-elves.
Yeah, just like about to kill Hellboy essentially.
He's like, oh, you gotta stop. He's about to die. Oh, we gotta do something.
And then Liz is over here. And then Liz is over here looking at John. Is like, hit me. And John's like, what? Punch me, hit me, do it, pussy, punch me, but you can't.
Dude. So then, of course, John slaps her.
Yeah.
And then she gets, I guess, her power stress.
Which I honestly kind of,
Hmm?
which I don't get how slapping her was a like trigger.
I think she needed to be angry or something, but like she was
Okay,
already
first of all,
stressed out about how it was-
exactly. She's
Yeah.
already stressed out about like the person that she cares about is literally about to die right in front of her, and a very stressful. And like once he's dead, they're gonna die next. So
See, you know what? That's another reason we don't like John, because he slapped Liz.
it's not even just not even just that, dude. It's just like it's just so unnecessary. You already have enough stressors in the room for her to trigger her powers. That doesn't seem to make any sense.
That scene really didn't need to be in there, but it's whatever. It was still
Yeah,
a
it
good
was,
movie.
I guess. Yeah,
You guess?
you're very loud. We're in the library, by the way. You're very loud at the library.
Shut up.
No. Anyway, so yeah, all that happens.
Oh yeah, her powers go off.
Yeah, her
She kills a bunch of the semi-elves.
Yeah.
Hellboy's good because he's fireproof. Blah blah blah. They move on.
Yep.
Rasputin.
Rasputin.
Now he's here.
Yes.
So there's
Not
a
doing
scene.
that.
I forget. I'm not gonna lie. I was watching this movie late at night, and I did kind of doze off towards the end, but I still, know what happened.
Yeah.
Don't look at me like that.
No, I wasn't. I'm just listening.
So Rasputin kills Liz in some way. I forget how he does it, but he kills her. Yeah. And he's John's hurt and he can't do anything.
Yeah, well, he
And-
couldn't do anything in the first place because Sean is a useless wet towel.
Yeah. Yeah, he is. And
Actually-
Hellboy's locked up in these chains. Or
Yeah.
not in his chains, but like what is it called? The stock?
Yeah,
Is that what it's called?
I think.
I think so.
Or like some kind of harness. Or
You
whatever.
know, like the stuff you'll see in like medieval times when somebody was acting up and did something they're not supposed to do, and they were in the thing that holds your hand and your head.
Hold your head in your hands.
Yeah, and they just throw tomatoes at you.
Yeah.
Hellboy was in one of those.
Yeah, it was.
They're throwing tomatoes at him.
Yeah. Except now it's more like Rasputin. It's like, huh, I killed your girlfriend. Huh.
It was like I
If you
think
want-
his name was inscribed on the lock.
Yeah, which is interesting because I never knew Hellboy's name at the first place. Don't know how to pronounce it.
And then didn't he say Akun Unrama, something like
Or
that?
something like that.
Yeah, and he was like, "Say your name, say your name." It was like, "No, I don't want it."
No, I'm a hero.
And then he was like, "Hey, if you do it, you could bring Liz back." And Hellboy was like, "I guess."
Yeah, fine, whatever.
So he said his name to unlock the locks. And then he used his hand because his hand, the right hand of Doom, was the key to opening up the portal so the 7 gods of chaos could get out.
Yeah.
Which is Rasputin's whole plan. He's just an instrument of chaos, literally. Side tangent. Rasputin's plan, very well thought out.
Oh yeah.
Like his whole plan with him getting old boy, the puppet, into the room so he could kill him, and then making sure they brought Liz back so that way Liz could be there so he could kill Liz and use her as leverage to get Hellboy to do what he wants him to do.
Yeah, it was very thought out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very thought out.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a smart villain.
Yeah.
Which Marvel needs to pay attention to, but go off, I guess.
For another day.
Yeah, I'll say that for another day.
I'm
never watching the Marvels. Anyway.
Yeah, sure. Well, you didn't even have to bring them up specifically.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, Hellboy opens up the portal, and then John does this whole like, oh no, remember who you are, and he throws the
really cool
professor's-
scene though. Really cool scene with him regrowing his horns and getting the fire crown.
Oh yeah, I forgot he did get his horns when he put his hand in there.
Yeah.
Cool, very cool. Yeah, and so John threw the prayer beads at him. Like, oh, remember who you are, which I thought was dumb because you could have had Abe there instead, and Abe throw the prayer beads.
Yeah,
but whatever. So,
the cross is burned into the.
Yeah, and then okay, sorry, another side tangent. Freaking, the professor said, "Hey, I need you to teach Hellboy how to become a man." None of that happened. No interaction happened to teach Hellboy how to become a man.
If anything,
nothing that John did helped Hellboy to become a man.
If anything, John's whole character and personality is the opposite of what a man should do.
Yeah, it was just, ugh, we don't like John. Now that I'm talking about it, I realize before I was just like, man, John's boring. Now I actually have disdain for John. I don't like him.
I don't like him. Nope, not one bit.
So yeah, throws him the prayer beads, and Raymond, like you said, it like the cross burned into his hand.
Yeah.
And whatnot. And then what happened? He ended up.
I look, you kind of blamed on that part.
It's cool. It's cool. It was the ending of the movie. It was towards the end.
Yeah.
Remember, he broke his horns off. He's like, I don't need these. Boop. Broke them off. Rasputin's like, no, how could you?
No.
And I think Rasputin, I forget how he died. Did the portal suck him up?
It's like, I remember like there was a monster that was just like crawling out of his stomach.
Oh yeah, that monster crawled out. What happened
Yeah.
with the monster? Oh,
And then the monster like started growing.
Yeah, and it got
All
big.
that got big, and then Hellboy was like, "All right, give me all those grenades," and just blew it up.
Yep. I remember. He like, did he let it eat him when he blew it?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. I don't know why I'm blanking on the end of the movie.
It's the end of the movie. And plus,
Yeah, I stopped caring because the good part about Hellboy, about that movie specifically, was a lot of like the characterization.
Oh yeah, 100%. Except for
final-
like John, but that's enough about John. We gave John too much attention.
Yeah, all my homies hate John.
Hashtag John haters for life.
Exactly. But yeah, the final fight,
Yeah.
but everything else was good. Now the part that I loved so much was when Liz came back and they did the little kiss when she was on fire and they were both on fire and they were kissing, blah, blah,
Yeah.
blah.
The passion.
Yeah, that part was great because Hellboy was like, I guess this is alluding to the fact that Hellboy, even if it was, I'm not sure if it was said as a joke, but I don't want to take it as a joke. I feel like he meant it. This is actually what happened.
Yeah.
So when Liz came back, she was like, "Oh, what did you do?" And Hellboy was like, I looked into the one who had you. I was like, "Hey, let her go, or I'm gonna come down there." And I was like, "Dude, that moment where he's like face to face with Liz and he's telling her, I would go to hell and back to get you." Like, I was like, dude, that moment just gave me chills. Like, I loved that so
No, for real,
much.
Hellboy was already a man. I don't know why the professor was like, teach Hellboy to be a man.
Dude, he's hell man.
Hell man.
But yeah, they ended there, happy ending. Everybody goes about their business. We see Abe, he's happy and healthy. He's not sitting in his tank anymore. Everything's pretty cool. And then, just the part, the after credits scene.
Right.
The FBI director, cut back to him.
Uh-huh.
He's still sitting in there He's
Oh,
like,
really?
Yeah, he's like, hey guys, can anybody hear me? And then you hear one of the semi-elves screech.
Oh.
So I'm gonna assume he died, which good riddance.
Yeah.
The director was annoying.
Yeah, he was annoying. But yeah, that's basically Hellboy. Overall thoughts, Aaron?
Overall thoughts, I liked it. It was a good movie. Good movie. I liked it.
Yeah,
it was well worth the watch.
It's a good movie. It's good. Good. We will rate it as good movie. We'll watch again.
Yep. So I guess that's the end.
Yeah. Basically.
Yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll try to have an episode out next week. And this is Cinema Roll signing out.
Bye.
Bye.